He has to give me one more death save, so on 1, Granny passes.
Oh.
Failure, but not 1.
Okay.
Okay, I'm running. I'm dashing.
So you can get to her with a dash. Give me an acrobatics check, actually, to get across the bridge.
11 again.
That's fine.
Nice. And I'm gonna attempt to stabilize.
You go.
Right. Okay. 11?
That's enough. She doesn't need 10. She's stable.
Okay. She's good.
I got it!
We're
Get
good.
her finger in a hole. She's not bleeding out.
I can't move, but you know.
Okay, so stabilization, what do I do for this? Just give myself one hit point or whatever?
No, you just leave it on death.
Okay.
But you don't have any more death saves.
Okay.
We should find somewhere to rest.
We should go in there.
Are you going to carry Granny across the bridge?
That
I'm
seems like a bad
absolutely
idea.
not. I don't. Yeah.
She's bigger than you. That would be hard.
Yeah. How do we?
Okay, I'll drop.
shut up.
ankle.
Remember how you said you would carry everyone on your shoulders?
Yeah, literally. So I'll drop her there,
Okay.
and then or him there, and then go back and carry.
I assume you quite literally meant drop. Just slump.
Well, yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so you go back and get her, and take your time getting across the bridge. Don't worry about a roll now. There's no.
Okay.
You don't have an archer shooting at you or anything
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
your view of Grady.
So then, what do? You've got everybody across onto that sort of landing, and there's stairs going up to the temple, or there's
Check
stairs.
out the tower. And knowing I killed a bunch of things there already, might be clear, and we can.
It might be.
Hole up,
Might be.
and we can handle
Hold
it
up.
if there's more, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, 'cause you're clutching today.
Hopefully.
Okay. So you go up the stairs.
Should we leave them here? Should we?
We're leaving them.
We
here.
should leave them here, right?
Okay. There's an iron-bound wooden door. It looks very sturdy
Can
Is there
I?
windows?
on the second floor of the tower, not the first.
Is there a lock?
There is not a lock.
Is it open?
It does appear to be opened.
We're gonna
Open,
open.
not opened. It's open, as in not locked.
Yeah. Let's go.
After you, and I'm gonna knock an arrow.
I'll slowly open the door.
Okay. So you open the door, and it basically goes. It's like there's about 10 feet of entry, and then out into this sort of blocky tower, and it's hollow on the inside, except for a flight of stairs winding up to the second floor. However, there are bunks, old wooden bunks here, that have all but deteriorated. Some of them are like leaning over, some of them are just a pile of old wooden timbers.
What do you think this place was used for?
Is there any skeletons or anything on these bunks?
There's not. There's not. This appears to be like a barracks, but there's nothing there.
Okay, let's go in quietly and search it.
Watch your corners.
Okay, so you guys have a look around on the main floor, so you can each give me an investigation check.
Yeah, that was not good.
I got a 11.
I got
11.
I got a 4.
4. You guys don't find anything.
Shot 4.
I'll head up to the second floor.
Okay,
I
so
can stay on the first floor,
you're staying on the first?
just in case something wakes up.
So you go up the stairs, and on the
Obviously peeking up at like
Yeah. top of the stairs there's a hallway. And if the dimensions of the building are appropriate and everything, you feel like the hallway essentially splits the tower in two. Like it goes all the way to the end, and there is an arrow slit at the end. And there are 2 doors on the left that would face the south,
Yeah.
and 1 door facing to the north.
Okay. If I know the 2 doors, will they coincide with the two guys? that
One of the
killed?
doors you think would coincide with where the windows they were firing from are.
Okay. So I'll go to that door first and open it.
You can open it. Sure enough, you look into a room, and again there is sort of tables that have long since sort of. There would have been a large table here,
Okay.
and some benches, and they're not looking in very good shape. You can see the 2 skeletons that you guys knocked out. They're lying in sort of heaps over by the windows, and they have their bows and quivers with them.
Nothing in the room at all outside of that.
No.
Okay. Then Are you coming up yet or not?
I was kind of just keeping point, but I can come up, yeah.
Yeah. So I'll kind of, if he's not, I'll motion him to come out.
So you sort of go look down the stairs and motion for him to come
Yeah.
up.
Yep, and then I'll go.
As you do that, as you turn back into the hallway, you hear almost a very breathy laugh. Not loud, like almost like someone who could barely breathe was trying to laugh. And you hear it, and you know it wasn't your ears that heard it. It's like Zhulzuk just hears it in his mind. And you've heard it. You've heard the voice before.
Okay. In my mind, I'll say, "What's so funny?"
No, there's no response.
Okay. Then I'll say, like next door. I'm gonna open it. Might be something in there.
I'm ready.
So the second door
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
on the south side. So you open the second door on the south side, and it leads into a bedchamber that is at one point you have a feeling was a little more upscale than the barracks below.
Uh-huh.
There's a much larger bed. There are two windows looking out where your friends are lying
Yeah.
in blissful sleep. There looks like there was once some sort of a large fur skin or rug on the floor, but it is not lasted the years well, however long it's been since this tower has been in use. And it's sort of a browny just mess of fur on the floor, but there's no bone or anything like that, so you're pretty sure it was a fur rug of some type.
Okay. Can I investigate the room?
Yep.
14 again.
14. You look around and you don't find anything of any real value here.
Okay. Next room. Last one. There's
Yeah.
one more.
So
And then we go
Chirp
back.
is upstairs now.
Yep, I'm with him. I'm kind of.
Alright.
I'm his 6.
So the next, you open the single door across the way, and you open that, and as you lean into the door, it doesn't open.
You should let me handle this.
Yeah.
So you look for a lock. There isn't one. There isn't one.
You should handle this.
Can I investigate around the door to see if there's some kind of like other mechanism that might open it?
Yeah, you can make an investigation check.
16.
16. You think that it is has some sort of a magical seal to it that has kept it shut.
Alright, can I do an arcana or something on it to
You think it's like an arcane lock or something,
like?
like a spell of that nature.
Okay. Fuck, I can't do anything to that.
Well, if we can't open it, probably not a lot else can either.
I'll tell them to back up, and I'll just cast Eldritch Blast on it.
Okay. That will work.
Yeah.
The force damage.
Yeah.
You're like, wham! Wham, 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 wham! And it eventually, the door crumbles.
Yeah.
Inside is a small, what appears to be library,
Okay.
which is odd because Zuck has probably never seen a library.
Uh-huh.
So the stacks and the collection of papers and books, you're like, nowhere in the Goblin lands of Hildrak are there really any things like this.
Uh-huh.
And there is the windows here are shuttered shut. The few windows that you can see, and and there's at least half a dozen stacks of books and scrolls.
Do you feel drawn to anything at all? I was saying I had laughing, chuckles.
Yeah, you don't feel drawn to anything, but
You should get our friends.
It's clear. Yeah, let's get our friends
Yeah.
and bring them in.
okay. So you go back out and get everybody
So
inside.
I'll close the door, lock it, and then
There's not a lock, but there's like a bar. That
yeah,
you
like
can
I'll
cross.
bar the door,
Yep.
and then I'm interested just to like look through some of the stuff in this room because it was
The
locked.
library?
It was locked for some reason. There's got to be something of value in here.
Okay. So as you leave them to rest downstairs. I'm going to say that the party gets a long rest, but during that long rest, Zhulzuk sort of noses around upstairs. What Zhulzuk finds is there are at least a lot of the books. You have like maybe you open one of them and it just kind of crumbles with age, but not all of the books do that. Some of them are still in good enough shape that they can be opened, but they are in a language that Zuck does not.
Are there any like emblems or etches of that seal on it?
Yes, everywhere.
I will put them in my bag. Like this
Yeah,
is
there's probably too many to fit in your bag.
well, any of the ones that look super cool to me.
Okay, anything. So you maybe find a couple that you're like, this one's nice. We'll put that.
Like
in.
look through, there's pictures of someone getting decapitated or something like that. Like like that speaks to my Hobgoblin side. That's what I'm.
Okay. There's also a table when you get sort of into the library more. There's this open space where there are no stacks, and there's a table with a number of beakers and bottles and fluids.
Okay.
Mhm.
Do I know anything about this kind of stuff?
It looks like some kind of an alchemy lab.
Okay, cool.
Again, maybe seen. Zhulzuk has maybe seen or heard of crude ones, but the glass works and that here, like there are some very thin tubes and vials that are well beyond the ability of any kind of goblin glass blower.
And there's like, are there like vials of stuff?
Most of the beakers lay dry. They might have a bit of a colored powder in them. But there are, whatever they were making here, there are 4 stoppered flasks. 2 of them have a red liquid in them, and 2 of them have a sort of a greeny yellow liquid. And the greeny yellow ones there's something floating inside.
What's floating in it?
You can't tell. It looks like a piece of maybe bone or something.
Okay. Is there any books or anything showing pictures of anything that might?
No.
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 I'll take them. I'll put them in my bag.
Okay.
Gently. Or is there like some bag or anything that I can?
Well, you have a bag. You look around for
No,
something
like
else to carry.
Something
them?
that might store these in it, like that they have. There.
You don't find anything like that.
Okay, so I'll gently like wrap them and put them in my bag.
Okay.
And if I can do an Arcana check to figure it out, I don't know.
If you want to unstopper them, if you think they're potions, if you have a taste.
Yeah.
So
They
if you
are.
unstopper them and have a taste, you can probably figure
Yeah.
out what they are.
So the first one's a 15.
The red ones are potions of healing.
Okay.
The greeny yellow ones are potions of hill giant strength. And you think what's floating around in there is a toenail.
Ooh. Okay. Cool. All right. So I'll put them neatly away and walk down.
Okay. So everyone has a long rest. So everyone.
How are they looking now?
Well, they're resting. So after the long rest, they'll be awake and although they'll all be at full hit points, Rutabaga will not be able
I
to
will
walk.
reluctantly look at her ankle and like know that this is what's left of our tribe. I have to like sacrifice one of these awesome bottles I found to use her to further my means.
So you're going to use
So I'll like
while he sleeps?
I'll wake her up and be like, you need to drink this.
Okay.
It'll help your ankle.
So Rubeg's kind of feverish and obviously not conscious, but not really there, but enough that he won't choke on the potion. So you put the potion in, and as he lies back, you can actually hear like a pop and a click as things start shifting back into place as the magic from the potion takes hold. And it's unsettling at best, I guess.
And I'll just whisper in Rutabaga's ear and be like, "You owe me your life." And stand up.
Okay. So after a long rest, everyone is back at full hit points. And although Rutabaga's foot was crushed, the potion has healed it. But I'm going to say that Rutabaga can currently only move at half his normal speed.
Okay.
He has a significant limp when he puts down on that foot.
So when Granny Murk wakes up, she goes to check the foot and is like, "What?
I don't even know what happened to my foot.
What?"
You just remember hearing the crack of the stone falling.
There's a lot of crunching. Must have been one heck of a battle.
Zhulzuk said we should cut off your foot, but I told him not to.
It was a good decision.
Good.
I like my feet.
Yeah, they're very nice.
We're gonna let
I
that
can only
float.
imagine you go like, "I like my feet." Yes, they're very nice. And there's like these horribly gnarled toenails.
Toenails.
Just like,
You've been looking at them for years.
They're open toe shoes.
yes, no.
They used to be not open-toed
Yeah.
shoes, and now it's just...
The toenails just kick.
So now what?
Was that the healing potion or the giant strength potion?
The healing.
Can I have the other potion too?
No.
No one knows he has.
Technically, we don't know. We don't know.
I was passed out. Yeah, I didn't see him give you any.
I think he should go, "Hey, Rutabaga, I found this potion. It's for you."
Anything else?
Is the dome still flashing?
The
The caved-in temple across
Yes.
the way?
yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna be like, our goal's across the way. That's where the bird crashed. But nowhere, somewhere that's far more powerful than anyone here could ever wish to be. And this symbol symbolizes our redemption. The powers that reside here are the powers I choose to follow.
Is there anything that we can do to be more respectful? Less likely to be smote?
No,
Alright, cool. We'll just wing it.
this is probably a test.
Did you work on that speech while we were all asleep?
I'll just stand up and walk by her and unbar the door.
And there's no mention about what's upstairs.
No.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay.
So you go out the door, and you walk down the stairs, and you're headed to the temple.
Yeah, like where the...
Yeah.
Was I
And-
there when you busted the door down? Was I there when he
Yes.
Eldritch Blast? Okay.
Yes. You know there's a library in there.
Okay. I'm really confused, but I'm gonna
You probably don't know what to call it, but there's like a room and a lot of books up there.
There's paper everywhere.
So you're headed to the temple, and sort of as you cross the platform here, it's dusk. No one even notices at first, and then you notice that stone door has been raised.
The one right here?
Yes.
Granny Murk would like to overdramatic gopher and at the door.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes, and like make a sign of like,
Do we
evil.
notice any footprints or anything coming from it, or
No.
tracks or anything? Okay.
No.
Let's go up, and I'm still going forward.
Yeah.
I'll just be
Bird's
worried
over
about that. What we need's up there.
But what if there's treasure that way?
We'll come back for it. But also, is it going to be worth another foot?
I'll give up another foot for shiny.
My foot can heal itself.
It'd be like that sometimes. Alright, I'm ready to go. Let's go see the bird.
If something comes out of that door and bites me on the ass, I will be displeased.
I'll watch your ass, Chris.
Good.
Just watch out for arrows, old lady.
Got a stinger in the shoulder.
What are you gonna do? Firebolt him?
Okay, so
If only you had a goblin strapped to your back.
you
Yeah, really.
climb the steps and you reach the top.
The first form of goblin armor was another goblin.
These steps? I mean, these steps or
No,
these?
those ones. And there's a set of double doors.
Mm-hmm.
These double doors are carved in relief, and they show a creature that at first you think is a dragon, but then you realize your error, as the dragon has too many heads. It appears to be a 5-headed hydra, and it's been carved into the door, and it sort of glares down with its many heads at you. And as you stand in front of the door, you begin to realize just how massive they are. So they're 10 feet across, and they are close to 20 in height. They like go up, and they narrow to a point at the top.
The doors?
Is there any handle or I'm guessing not.
What's that?
Is there like a handle?
There are handles. There are large iron rings, and even though the doors are like 20 feet tall, the rings are like tall enough for like a human to hold on to.
All right.
I say human, someone medium sized.
Just check for magic on it first.
Certainly. It will take me a little while.
While she's doing that, I'll check for traps.
Okay, so the two of you sort of give the door a look over.
Yeah, so...
You roll Arcana, you roll Investigation.
Toy. 12.
They do not appear to be trapped.
So 23.
They do not have any sort of magical significance.
All right, I walk up and I finger the staff at different places, and then I look and I go,
So,
Clean.
as Granny leans in and licks the door, all the hair on her neck rises, and then just as her tongue touches the door, from the stone, she gets a static shock.
happened. But not enough to do damage.
No, like when someone walks across a carpet and goes,
Ding! Ah! Ha! It's all good.
What happened?
It's all right. Magic happened.
Ooh.
I didn't find anything. You can open it if you'd like. I'm going to take a big step back.
Yes. So, do I look at it and I think that that Zhulzuk and Murk will have to open this, right? Yeah. Okay.
it'll take a bit of pulling.
Zuck, grab that one. Okay, Rutabaga Chirp, ready. Get ready to like attack something that comes out of there. All right.
I'm ready. I'm good.
And you guys
Okay.
pull?
Do I see this static shock or whatever? Or?
Nope.
No. Okay, I'll just go up and
But
grab
as
it.
you touch the door,
I feel it.
the same thing. It's not a shock this time. You touch the door, the hair, sort of like all your hair rises, and you feel like there's the door is vibrating without actually moving. That's how I would describe it. You pull on that, you touch that ring, and it feels like it's just humming.
Okay, pull it open.
Yep.
Okay, so both of you make a strength check.
Oh, that's just. Oh, this is gonna go really poorly.
7.
That's a 9. Zhulzuk, pull hard.
Is there anything, like any other, is there windows or anything?
No, but you know that the dome on top is all broken apart. If you climb the outside, you could look down in.
Let's do it.
Okay.
I have 2 questions.
Go ahead.
First off, are there any big rocks near the cliff?
Yeah, there's stones everywhere.
Okay, but like big enough that it would look. Can I string around the tooth this door open with like a big boulder and my rope tied to the door handle? Like if I kick a boulder off
Oh, I
the
see what you're
cliff.
saying. There's nothing that big.
Okay, thank you. Yep, going
Yeah.
up.
Good idea, but there's nothing that big.
We'll climb.
What's that?
We'll climb.
So so you begin to climb the outside of the temple.
How tall is it? to
Wait,
get here?
what?
It's going to be about a 30-40 foot climb.
Well, not bad.
Zuck, get back down here and help me pull the
Can I
ring.
try to Eldritch blast the door open?
Yeah, you can try.
I'm gonna try.
It does not have much effect. The stone is pretty resilient.
Zuck,
What's last time?
stop
Well, it
that.
was wood last time.
Come over here. Pull on this with me. Come over here.
Okay.
So you give it and I'll give you advantage.
Okay.
Strength with advantage.
Well, that's better. 18.
Roll again.
Yeah. 17. So
Okay.
18.
18 no. So you guys pull it, and it sort of, you hear it grinding on the gravel and that, and it opens enough that someone can get through.
You get the impression if we let go, it
All right.
just go back.
No.
Okay, so it's over.
Sneak in.
I'll go in. You have to promise you're gonna stay out here and you're not gonna run away if something goes on.
I'm coming in.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. I thought you were looking at.
Oh.
I'll stay on guard with
So
you.
who's going in first? So Chirp slips through the door first.
Stealthing.
And you are in a wide, because it's 25 feet across, but relatively short, only about 20, 25 feet. And then it opens into a massive round chamber, and you can see these huge pillars reaching up that would have once supported this massive domed roof. In the center of what you can only assume is a temple, there is a massive bird. It is on its back, and its wings are bent in very awkward positions, and it looks horribly burnt, like fire has just everywhere around the edges. It's sort of a bluey purple color,
Okay.
and it's on its back, and its beak is facing you, and one of its dead eyes just kind of staring
Aww.
at the doorway.
It's dead.
Its chest cavity has been pulled wide open, and its rib cage kind of extends almost like fingers, and it kind of reminds you of the bones that once laid outside of your camp at the bottom of the mountain. As Zhulzuk comes in, and every so often, up one of the ribcage bones, you just see like a crackle of lightning, and maybe even arcs off of it onto another bone.
Yeah.
And there's a smell of burnt flesh in here. There might have been an idol or something centered in this room, but it's probably under this thing's corpse. Now, as far as sizing is concerned, this bird is Colossus. So it would take up 6 squares by 6 squares if I put him down on the map. Like, he is a massive, massive, massive creature.
If you had to describe how it looks, would you say it's more like raptor, more hawk, eagle, or would you say it's more
Eagle.
okay.
That would be the closest thing I think that would describe it. But it's clearly not an eagle.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah, yeah. I'd
It's
just be
blue and
aesthetic.
purple feathers, and
I want to walk up to it and try to figure out where the source of its power is coming from.
okay. So you walk up to it, and you get a feeling like the room is immense, the chamber's immense. A bit of snow has fallen in here. You can see that there's ice and things like that, and all of that is relatively new. Like over the last few nights, that it's obviously broken the roof of this open when it crashed. Its body is in rough shape as you get closer. Like you can start to see, like when it hit the floor, it hit hard. That being said, the floor is now cracked everywhere as well, and even a little bit uneven. Like the floor is sitting at odd angles to itself all around the corpse of this massive bird lying on the ground. But you're not sure what its source of power is. It has 2 talons, which one is like balled up like a fist, and it's sort of just reaching straight up in the sky like that, and the other one is splayed out on the ground like open. It has these massive talons, like any bird of prey would have, but at this size, they're like spears. They're so big.
I'm gonna climb the corpse and see if I can look into the chest cavity, and if
Okay.
I can, I'm gonna hop in.
So you start climbing up it, and as you do that, every so often you touch a feather and get a shock, enough that you recoil and pull your hand back, like it hurt. Do you continue?
Yeah. This is a
Okay.
big deal for Chirp.
So as Chirp sort of gets up to where this chest is torn open, at that point a crack of lightning sort of crackles up one of its exposed ribs very quickly and jumps across, startling you a little bit, and then you look down sort of in, and there's like his insides are all there, but they're blackened and charred. However, Chirp being Chirp's chosen cuisine, he can tell that something has been eating on the corpse. Something much bigger than Chirp.
Okay. I'm gonna hop in the. Do I get the impression that whatever's eating this thing is in the body?
You don't see signs of it in the body.
I'm gonna take a dagger and I'm gonna drop it. How far is the drop?
It's
Considering
5 feet in before you start hitting its organs and things.
Okay, well then I'm just gonna take an arrow and start poking around, see if I wake anything up.
So you sort of reach down in and start poking. Yeah, it sort of hits the crispy cooked parts of whatever did this to it. And as you do that, everyone hears sort of this low howl that hangs on the wind. And it sort of floats in from outside the temple. But it's close. You recognize it as the infamous Frost. That howl is much closer than you've ever been to whatever the creature is before. It has to be relatively close.
So I stick my head in the thing and say, Zuck, with it by the bones! That is not important, Zuck. You hear that?
We need to move. Something's been scavenging this.
Get its heart.
Yeah, I'm gonna, if I can, cut its heart out.
Okay.
It's
Or-
the size of a
So
Volkswagen.
being a
Yeah,
hunter,
no, I was gonna say.
being a hunter and having killed a few things in your time and gutted them, this thing's heart would be massive.
All right, let me rephrase what I'd like to do. I'd like to take a non-digestive tract organ, cut a slice off it, pop it in my mouth, and jump down. And I take a little bite.
Okay, so you cut a bit off and pop it in your mouth.
Yep.
Okay. As you do that, you hear a snarl, and as everyone looks up, there is a
Let's go.
large, very white-furred, horned creature sitting on the edge of the temple dome, the cracked, broken dome. It looks at each of you, and it has these horrible, dark red eyes, and it doesn't howl or growl, but it does open its mouth, and you can see these massive canines, and it's looking at all of you.
As I slide down off this thing, I'm gonna grab a feather if I can.
Okay.
I'm gonna hit the ground and I'm gonna say, "Run!"
Okay, let's roll initiative.
Ooh.